progressive ideas are winning. Now, there's a new poll out that found that a majority of Democrats will not support a candidate who believes in a middle ground approach to healthcare. Now, this is amazing. This is a new Politico Morning Consult tracking poll. And what it did is that it showed increasing support for Medicare for All among all Democratic voters. But what it also showed is that more Democrats are now saying that they would be willing to support a candidate that backs Medicare for All. Now, there are only two of those people here. For one, Bernie Sanders, we know 100% that he will support Medicare for All and he will not take any sort of middle ground. A little squishier on the issue is Elizabeth Warren, who says, yes, I will support Medicare for All, but again, she might take other options. So again, she's a little squishier on it than Bernie Sanders, and so Bernie Sanders is probably the best one on this issue. So now, here's the numbers. In January, 57% of Democrats said they would be more likely to vote for a candidate who backs Medicare for All over expanding the ACA. And that, of course, right now is the dichotomy, right? So here you have two candidates that say, oh, no, let's do Medicare for All. That's our preferred system. We have one candidate that basically has Medicare for All in name only. That's Kamala Harris. And the rest are saying, oh, let's just fix the ACA and maybe give a public option. Oh, okay. So now the people who support basically doing Medicare for All over expanding the ACA has risen from 57% to 65%. Only 13% of Democratic primary voters said they'd be less likely to support a candidate who backs Medicare for All. That's John Delaney, essentially, and a couple of his fans. No, seriously, though. That 13%, why don't you just go to the Republican Party already? I mean, what's wrong with you? Medicare for All. If you're a Democrat that doesn't believe that healthcare should be universal, should be a human right, what are you here for? Seriously. But anyway, so now basically that shows that you have people like Biden and other centrist candidates that have the unpopular opinion in the Democratic Party. Now, the survey suggests a level of support for single-payer healthcare that could take some sting out of Republican plans to make Medicare for All a four-letter word so they can wield it against Democrats up and down the ballot in 2020, according to Politico. Here's Politico actually saying something true. But hey, look, Republicans don't have a plan on healthcare. Their plan was basically, I don't know, kick 30 million people off health insurance and then make it more expensive and make it even better for corporations. That's their healthcare plan. Progressives, the Democratic Party, should absolutely adopt Medicare for All. And I think pretty much the Democratic voters have already as the superior position to run on. But you only have two candidates, because as Donut Twitter loves to point out, Bernie's not a Democrat. Nobody cares. Only two candidates that are really for Medicare for All for the most part. And so where's the rest of the party in this issue? They definitely do not reflect the voters. So now, great news, right? Because this shows that progressive ideas are popular and that Democratic voters are saying no to the middle ground approach. They're saying that they will not support a candidate that doesn't support Medicare for All. That's amazing. Now, here's the timing on this, which is interesting, but not a correlation, causation, or whatever. Okay, so now the survey comes just hours after Biden released an ad that used his family's history of loss to attack Medicare for All. So Biden releases this ad that says, oh, we should not tear Obamacare up and start over. Healthcare is very personal for me. So that continues with the BS lie that Medicare for All is basically starting over. No, we already have Medicare. Bernie Sanders' plan expands it over 4 years. That's what it does. So it's already in place for people 65 or older. And then it starts basically expanding and reducing in age. Now, again, there's one important thing. Children can automatically opt in, right? So they would be immediately covered as well. And then over 4 years, it generally expands as well as what it covers, and then bans duplicative coverage. That's that lie that, oh no, you're going to tear up Obamacare and then start over. It's just complete and total nonsense. We heard it back in 2016. We heard it back from Hillary Clinton, Chelsea Clinton, and the establishment. Complete and total fabrication. No, Bernie's Medicare For All, as I said, it again expands immediately, and it would cover everyone. Now, Biden's plan, they looked at his, and it would cover an estimated 97% of Americans. Now, look, you could say, oh, 97%, that's pretty good. Not good enough. You still have 10 million people that would not be covered by health insurance. Now, again, country of 300 million people. You could say, and a lot of these centrists do, that's good enough, man. 97, what do you want to do? Go to 100%? Yeah, that's exactly what we want to do. Damn right we do. 100%, because healthcare is a human right. And besides, this is interesting too. Let me throw this out. Matt Brunig of the People's Policy Project, that's a think tank, said Biden's plan would result in the deaths of around 125,000 people over the first 10 years by leaving out that 3% of the U.S. population. Now, look, is it better than what we have right now? Yeah. Is it what we should settle for? No. In fact, in Brunig's words, he said, quote, needless to say, this is not acceptable. I agree. And he said, no Democrat should be running on a health plan that does not provide universal coverage. I mean, think of how backwards we are in this country. When you compare us to all the other countries basically in the world, even our northern neighbors in Canada have figured this one out. We're the only ones who haven't. And it's about time we have truly universal health care. Look, I want it. And 65% of Americans, they say we want it. So, or at least we want to choose a candidate that supports Medicare for All over someone who only wants to fix the ACA. There's a massive majority of Americans that want this system. So, look, now's the time. Now's the time. Biden cannot be the nominee. We cannot accept half measures. We cannot accept middle ground. We have to vote for a progressive in the primary. I'm in favor of Bernie Sanders. Why? Because I think he's the only one that is really going to fight for the change that we need. And so, this is the perfect time to make our choice in the primary. So let's get out there, let's do it, and let's make sure that every person in America, man, woman, and child, has healthcare as a human right. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/TYTNation, set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent, progressive media.